Hello. Okay, we should be on in just a moment. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Flaming Phoenix. Third stream, what, in a week? Wow, we are so back, folks. Today's stream will probably be pretty short. It's a little later than I intended on starting, but I wanted to get at least just a bit done on our lovely apartment building here. So I spent the entire day thinking about this, and I have terrible news, y'all. These sulfur bricks just do not work. I'm sorry, but it's a little too much of an eyesore, especially in an area defined by its darkness and grimness. The bright yellow just does not work at all. I wish it did. You have no idea how much I wish the sulfur blocks worked. So now we have to choose a new block for that. I have two ideas. Well, we can get rid of these now. So the first idea, excuse me, bricks. Really, whatever it is, it's going to be some sort of bricks. I'm thinking mud bricks. Oh, and stone. The other option I was thinking is the most basic block in the world, simple stone bricks. Now, the great thing about mud bricks is that they complement the copper nicely. Bad thing is that we'd have to redo this little banister here, which is a shame because the banister is kind of my favorite part of the build. I think it'll work best, though. I have a feeling I'm going to use a lot of stone bricks in this build. Not this apartment, but like this as a whole project. And so because of that, I'd kind of like to use something a little different here. So I think... Man, this is going to break my heart. I really loved the little sulfur bricks design we had going. Uh-oh. What is it called? It's okay. Unfortunately, that does look significantly better. I actually really like that. Oh, man. That's a shame. Oh well. So now we are going to have to replace this little area. But first, I'd like to see if we can do the interior real quick. So, first things first, we're going to need a bed. Now, we already have light gray carpets. We're going to use a darker gray bed. We still want this to be very, well, depressing, honestly. And so I always like to put my bed in a corner. Now we know our furnace is going to go here in some way. We decided on that last episode. And so I kind of like the bed to be on the opposite side of the room. What about like something like that? Yeah. Cauldron. And then like a wall type thing. I feel like that's a reasonable one. And then once we have that, we're going to want a block leading up into the next floor for it to not siphon off into, for the furnace to continue into. So I guess we're just going to do all the furnaces first real quick. Let's do a chisel deep slate. I think that'll work nicely. Oh, I forgot about that block. Okay. Concrete powder. We're going to have to go ahead and replace that. I'm thinking something like that. Of course, for using this deep... what about, like... these are also some blocks we could do. I actually think that might be our best bet. Okay, that's what we're doing. So we've got a cauldron a blast furnace, a tough brick wall, and then a like decorated thingy. I forget what it's called. It's been a day, y'all. It was one of those days at work where it feels like the day is 5 billion hours long, which is rather unfortunate for me. Pale slab. There we go. Something like that. That'll be nice. And I did unfortunately forget to actually look up what we were talking about last time with whether you would have a chimney on both sides of the house. I don't think it matters too terribly much, though. We did decide we're going to raise this up. Going to raise this up. And then we're going to have a window here. Sorry, just matching a couple things with the other side of the build so we don't lose the symmetry that you see in literally every apartment building ever. Especially the newer ones, I feel like. Unless the building has a weird shape. Those ones, though, like university. No, that's a bad example. Like those nice, like modern apartment buildings. Nope, I've lost it. I'm imagining in my head, and then as I try to describe it, I'm like, there are no words to properly describe what I'm trying to describe. You know? I'm sure y'all have been there at least once. You're just gonna have to trust me on that. Okay, imagine a modern hospital in like where it has like weird shapes, where like there are arches and like those glass tunnels that run between buildings, something like that. I feel like the apartments could be a little different on the inside. You know, I forget why I was even talking about this in the first place. Now, yeah. Don't worry, y'all. I am totally here mentally, and I'm not tired whatsoever. Ain't that right? Okay, I forgot to actually do what we're doing, which is placing our lovely furnaces. So then we do blast furnace, blast furnace, blast furnace, blast furnace. Whoops. Tough, 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 tough. Chisel tough. Like that. Yeah, that looks good. And no one will ever see this, but you're actually going to connect the tough between here, kind of like pipes running. Kind of like that. Just it'll be our little secret. No one will ever know what is actually going on here. Okay. So next, see, this is why I should have done this earlier. Because it's hard to get through the windows now that those are in. So now we are gonna put in our chiseled tough. Gonna drop in on the other. Oh, we did not finish this here. Okay, now we're gonna, if we can fit it. There we go. We fit in just fine. Okay. And there we go. Okay, that is all for our little furnaces. So now that the furnace is done, I feel like they need a little bit of cookware. Oh, we should throw in beds on everyone's apartments, actually. That's what we should really do. So these are not meant to be exactly identical, but they're meant to give the same vibe all across. But we are going to make them symmetrical on each side. So like if you book this room, it'll be the opposite of that room. And it'll be the same as that room. You know, little continuity things like that that you see in a real apartment building. I mean, obviously, no real apartment building is going to have the exact same decorations in every single room. Um, but I'm really imagining this as like a stock standard type thing. Okay, cool. So now that we have that, we can get rid of these blocks. We've used all of those. So next up, we have lighting. So we're going to grab a lantern. And we're going to have them actual nice lanterns instead of the rusted lanterns we've been using in our other videos. Not other videos, our other builds. And then we're going to get like some nice little... Ooh, I feel like diorite would be nice. And then I want like a little... honestly, a log would actually work really well here. We're gonna do like a little, like little, not quite a dresser. Oh, it's basically a dresser. It's gonna serve the same function in that it you can store stuff on top of it. I guess the purpose of a dresser is actually to like put stuff in. I store stuff on top too. I'm weird like that. Of course, I feel like most people do that. See, this is tired Phoenix. Just rambling a little too long. Little too long. Okay, we need to focus. Right. Ooh, the smoker. That's a nice block. Should we have used this instead of the blast furnace? Nah, that's fine. We're just gonna use blast furnace. It's okay. Um. Okay, so we're looking for a good like dresser type item. What about a lodestone? And then if we got like I mean, I guess you can kind of see that there. Like something like this. Is that acceptable? And then over here, we have our little kitchen counter. And above that, we should have some barrels. Something like that, I think, works. Yeah, let's do this. And then 1, 2, 3. And then over here, we've got our lodestone nightstand. And then lodestone nightstand. Yet another lodestone nightstand. Believe it or not, we're doing 8 of these. Is that it for this floor? I think that might be it. Although I think I forgot barrels in the last room. Yeah, this looks nice. Onto the second floor. Once again, lodestones. We will need to put in this wall real quick so that we can attach our barrels to it. Same with this beautiful wall here. I think we're still going to leave the rest of the walls blank for now, just so that it's easier for us to get in and out real quick. I forgot the lantern on top of that lodestone. That's okay. Y'all, I completely forgot. I was going to do diorite counters. Oh. Okay, we're going to go fix that real quick after we finish this floor. Okay. So I think these 2 rooms now have everything. Barrels, barrels, diorite, lodestone. Yeah, I like that. Cool. So now we're gonna throw in our polished diorite. And then we're gonna want a bit of food that we can place. Unfortunately, there's only like 2 food items that we can actually, well, I don't think this will work. That works? Okay. Okay, we're gonna put in some food here, y'all. It's gonna look great. I would like to just like tripwire hook like 2 of these barrels. See, this is where the individual differences in the apartments come in. Yeah. Some just give them a little bit of uniqueness. And to go along with that uniqueness, where is our item frame? See, it's a little bit of a maze in here now. Here it is. Okay, so we're gonna go to our food tab. And so we've got cookie, we've got cake, we've got pie. And then the block I'm looking for is a sea pickle. Sea pickles are surely edible. I mean, pickle is in the name, so I'd assume they're edible. Yeah. See, it has pie that you can eat. It would work a lot better if I could make this invisible. We're not playing with that mod, though. That's okay. In here, we're just gonna see pickles. This room is gonna have cake. This room will have nothing. Well, yeah, it'll have nothing. Sorry, y'all. This one is gonna have a cookie. Gonna throw in 1 more cake there. 2 sea pickles there. Okay. I think that works. I don't quite like the item frames, but it's about the best we can do with the current design of Minecraft if we want to actually show food on the counter. Okay. So that's that. Food is taken care of. We have a nightstand, we have a thingy, a bed. Last thing we're going to want to add is a chair and somewhere to sit. And then we're going to do this the old-fashioned way where we're going to use a sign instead of a shelf. These days I normally do shelves for this purpose, but what can you do, you know? Well, I mean, I guess I could use a shelf. I just don't want to this time because I want to make this a little different than the other chairs that we've made so far. Ensure that we have a bit of variety going on. I say as I make each set of chairs virtually identical. Then we're also going to grab a bookshelf. These are meant to be poor areas that don't really have access to this, but that's okay. I just want a bookshelf, you know? I don't know what room a bookshelf could go in. Probably something on the bottom floor where we have a bit more room. Yeah, that's this floor done. After that, we just need to add in the outside. I wonder if we need a little bit of lighting here. Just a little bit. Oh well. We are going to go back into the basement. Yeah. I think that's quite nice. See, I'd really like to add a bookshelf right here. That's where I want to place the bookshelf. However, there's a window in the way. You know what? I've strongly considered putting bookshelves in front of my windows before. We're only going to do it on the second floor, though, because I don't want to ruin the other, like the ground floor windows that people will easily be able to look into. If we're going to do this, it's going to be somewhere that people won't be able to look into quite as easily. Yeah. Okay. So we gave one of our rooms, we gave that room a chair. This room does not have a chair. And the carpet, and they're gonna have like a red table. Gonna be fancy. See, just a little bit of life and variety to each of these. Just enough so that they're not quite a boring copy and paste from one to the next. Like this one, we're gonna do a white carpet. And there will be no signs on the sides. Ooh, fancy. I know. Really fancy here. I don't know where I'm going with this. Yeah, we're just going to do this. This will be fine. Here we go. Ooh, that chair has a back. So fancy. These chairs will also have backs. See, just a little bit of variety here and there, just enough to make it all just a little bit unique. And then we're also going to grab some candles. And we're going to do a little bit of candle work. Because it's come to my attention that this section is a little too dark. So I'm hoping that will add just enough light and it'll work pretty nicely. Yeah, this unfortunately the kitchen counter is really the only place we can set that. We are going to want to add doors to all of these at some point. You guys are going to get sides. You'll also get a back. Not like that. Okay. Excuse me. See, this one gets 4 candles. We're getting real fancy now. Why do they have 3 candles? No one knows. Maybe it's their 3rd birthday. Hold on. Are those rooms fully done now? Like, I think this is a full interior. I mean, we could add in, like, a little painting here and there. I don't want to go overboard with that, though. Like, that is way too much. Like, I'm thinking, like... Oh, I like that one. Yeah, they could have a little cowboy. But wouldn't this cowboy look so much better if he was won over? There we go. Again, just a little bit of individuality here and there, I think will go a long way in this design. There we go. That's it, everyone. We still need to add candles on this floor. So they are going to have a lot of candles in here because they're prepping a birthday cake. You're going to get 3 candles. And you, sir, are only going to get 1. Okay. Now we're going to want that spruce wood again. And this time we're going to want our pale oak slabs as well. And we're just going to finish up this floor real quick. We still need to add lighting to the hallway. We still need to add glass to everything. Um, but we are still very close to the end of this. Really, this entire building, to be honest. I mean, once we finish in the walls and windows and such, all that's going to be left is the roof. And the roof is very important. And I'll still need to figure out how to light the hallways. I have not gotten to that one yet. Maybe I could do like some industrial lighting with end rods. I don't know. That's going to be a problem for like 5 minutes from now. That's not a right now problem. Even if I am actively thinking about it while placing all this spruce. Okay, is that the end of our spruce? Wow, that went fast. Okay, so next thing we want is going to be glass. So this is when the entire building comes together. You know, I think we are going to do 2 chimneys, just for funsies. How often do you get a chance to do 2 chimneys in a build, you know? And if it turns out that buildings don't ever have 2 chimneys, because I don't think they do, it just adds a little bit to the fiction aspect of this world. Just gonna keep. It's a lot of glass. Apartment buildings have a lot of windows, it turns out. Who knew? Fortunately, the view there is not very good. Now, I was going to do a bit of like a front overhang thing here. We might still do that, but for now we're just gonna, make it finished. We can go back and add that when we get to the roof step. I just would really like to get the bulk of this exterior and interior done today if we can. Boy, has it really been 30 minutes already? I need to have dinner soon. Yeah, the bookshelf was fine. Is that everything? We did the glass? Oh, we missed this glass. That's a shame. Okay. That is that. Okay, guys, I figured it out. There are these great blocks called torches. And I think we're just going to put torches in the hall. I think that's honestly our best bet. What was that? 1 block out from the end? Something like that. Yeah. And then we can... Yeah, I like that. Just enough lighting. Okay. So again, we've got 1 there. How many blocks is that? 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. Boom. And then we're going to want another torch there. There we go. And now even the inside is lit up. Yeah, wow. This really came together much faster than I thought it would. I mean, really, it's just the ceiling and then the front of the building left. So I'm thinking for the ceiling, we're going to do copper, kind of mimicking the bottom of the building. Oh, I forget the weird sound that mud bricks make. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. Looks like we got a bit of a spam message there. Okay. Hope that wasn't sitting there too long. Okay. Man, I say okay a lot, it turns out. So that's one of the things you find out when you start streaming. You're like, oh, wow, I do, in fact, have literally nothing to say. And also, it's hard of my voice. But, you know, I'm enjoying it. I hope y'all are enjoying it. I'm really, really happy with what we've done these last couple streams. I think it's stretched me as a builder a bit in new ways I hadn't thought of. Like, I know I didn't mention this at all, but there's a little bit of a gap here. in my kitchen at home, we always had like a gap between the cabinets and the roof. I mean, now I'm looking at my apartment's one, and that's not there. There's the same thing with the bookshelf over here. It's just that little bit of a gap because while in survival, I always make my bookshelves go all the way to the ceiling. Here, I'm like, we can just have a bit of space because your bookshelves don't actually go into the ceiling in real life. There's a little bit of space there. And so I've enjoyed getting to toy around with some of the more realistic details like that. Normally, I always go for like a fantasy medieval style or like hardcore sci-fi, like all this is. But doing a nice realistic build, even in the context of this not survival, this dark grim sci-fi world, I found it to be very, what's the word? Gratifying. I've very much enjoyed this process, and I'm glad y'all have decided to join me for it. Okay. So next up on our agenda, we are going to grab some polished blackstone brick and polished blackstone brick. And I realized I don't want this block to go all the way here, but what we can do that will also add a bit of a rounding effect, I'm hoping, is to do like some walls going up. Which will make this just a little rounder, which is what we're going for, I also realized that most of the time when I'm commentating, I kind of sound like Bob Ross. Like I don't actually sound like Bob Ross, but it feels like I'm talking like Bob Ross. Which is a good thing. I'm just like, yeah, we're gonna put some happy little black stone bricks here. Not that I've watched much Bob Ross, but everyone knows just a little bit of Bob Ross. Though when his clips do show up on like YouTube, it's always makes me say, oh wow, I really want to paint again. I painted the spaceship a couple years ago, and I really, really loved it. And then I tried painting the TARDIS from Doctor Who, and I really, really hated it because it did not turn out well at all. I ended up going way too dark in my color scheme. That's how it goes. So if we do something like this, and then copper, you're going to go what do you want? Waxed. Waxed copper stairs. Does something like this work? Copper. Do we have copper walls? We have copper chains, and we have copper... We have copper bars. I suppose copper bars will work. Oh no, what did I do? Sorry about that. That was an accident. Okay. So if we are going to do this, we're going to want a bit of support. I almost think this would work better than the bricks in this case. Because I really love the way the bricks looked. But now that the whole building is made out of bricks, it's not quite what we're going for. Something like that, except I feel like this is just a little too thick here. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab some... I'm going to try this out, and I'm going to hope it works. I'm going to grab both of these. I'm wondering, can I, but then, switch to a slab? Like, something like that, I'm thinking, could work. I actually do like how that looks. Surprisingly, I did not expect myself to. Something like that. I think that works. This isn't quite right yet. There'll be like a change or two that might occur. Namely because this is a block higher. Oh, that's 2 blocks. Oh, 2 blocks might be too much. At the same time, you know, if we even this out here, we can have a little entryway, have a higher roof. I think we could maybe make this work. Just maybe. One can hope. Also makes me think maybe we could... Oh, what's it called? Concrete powder. No, that leaves something to be desired. That's not our focus right now. We're gonna ignore those problems. Okay, I think we could pull off 1 block taller than everything else. I don't think we can pull off more than that. Yeah? I guess we'll do that across the entire front and add 2 new windows. We're really going all in on the windows. There we go. Because then when you look at it from far away, this really has just turned into a normal apartment building. I guess I realized apartment buildings are just already depressing now, so they already fit in the dystopian vibe we've got going. Except then we're gonna go with 1, 2, 1. Then the lantern. What block can I cut? Don't think we're using that one again. There we go. That is our apartments fully lit, I think. We are going to want to add in... Uh-oh. Polished blackstone. Just going to patch up that little hole in our pipes. Yeah, I think this will work good. Well, it'll work well, not good. And then... Cool. I think this is it, guys. So originally I was going to do a slanted roof. Kind of like what we have there. I think that's a little too happy. It's a little too happy for what we're going for. So we're going to do a flat roof, because I think flat roofs are depressing. Like, why would you do a flat roof when you could do a curved roof? Not curved, slanted roof. No? Like, why would you do that? Again, remember what I said earlier about nonsensical commentary. That's what it feels like. Oh boy. It makes sense in my head before I say it, at least, you know? And I suppose that's what counts. Okay. Here we go. Some nice glass windows. Nice glass windows. And then we're gonna just that little bit of a gradient here. Okay. Okay. So. Cool. And now we're going to find our slab that we're going to cover the roof in. We are going to go with our exposed slab once more. However, I feel like there's always like that gravel on the rooftop, so we're going to use some andesite slabs as well. And then we're just going to want a regular copper waxed exposed. I'm just thinking for like the corners here, we're going to want that little bit of something extra. And the edge is going to be all copper. We're going to add in the chimneys as well after we finish the rest of the roof. So I'm not sure if glowstone will go through the slabs. I was honestly kind of hoping it would go through slabs in the opposite direction. I don't think it will. There we go. But yeah, if I added just a tiny bit of illumination, I would not mind. It's kind of what I was thinking when I put it there. Not enough to like actually glow. So maybe I shouldn't have used glowstone. But just enough to make it ever so slightly lighter. If not here, then hopefully on the floor below. Yeah, I think this is working pretty well. Good. It's producing the effect I was hoping for. Oh yeah. Do you see the vision? I hope you see the vision. I see the vision. But if we go inside, ba-da-da-da, it's a little more lit in here. Not a whole lot, but just enough to add a little more lighting. Which is good, that's what we want. Okay. That's not satisfying. It's too similar. It's too similar a block. So I think it works at the bottom with these. I don't think it works up here. So what if place, oh boy, wax, copper, what is it called? Waxed exposed cut copper. Okay. Exposed cut copper slab with waxed exposed copper. What's it called? Copper cut copper slab. I'm looking for like polished. Do we not have a polished slab? I'm looking for this as a slab, which I'm realizing does not actually exist, and that might pose a problem. Okay. Okay. Can we have the roof be... I think we can have the roof be a different color. I think that's fine. So we're going to go back to slabs. You know what? Slab with polished tough slab. Yeah. I think, unfortunately, that's the way to go. That's what we need. Or we could go another block higher with this little roof thing. I would not mind that either. Honestly, as far as apartment buildings go, I think that actually fits what we're going for perfectly. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, so we're gonna finish this on up. So we're gonna go 1, 2. Oh boy, how did that go? Something like that, I'm thinking. Polished deep slate. Nope, it's blackstone. It's not deep slate. Blackstone, polished blackstone bricks. That's what we need. We're also going to grab a lantern while we're here, just so that I can actually see what I'm doing. So this is going to be our chimney. Uh-oh. Oh well. Do we just maybe cut these walls? I think that might be a little cleaner. And then we've got our campfire. And we're going to put that on here as well. Okay, that is a lot of campfire. We're going to grab a trapdoor. And we're going to throw this over it. And then we're also going to grab a blackstone brick slab little outline thingy. And then, so this won't totally stop the campfires, but it will reduce it a little bit. Enough that we'll still have consistent smoke. Okay, that is still a lot of smoke. Then if we open it, we get a lot more smoke than that. Okay. I mean... Oh, that is fully holding it. Okay. Honestly, I think that's just what it's going to look like. I mean, that's kind of the vibe we were going for anyways in this whole design. I just didn't think an apartment building would have quite so much, you know? Um, yeah, I guess we'll still do it on the other side too. I was sitting here debating to myself. I'm like, is that a little too much smoke? And I'm like, nah. Got to show them what global warming will do. Okay. I should place the rest of the bricks before this. That's okay. Um, can I just place this directly on the... Oh, yeah, I can. That's great. Saves me from having to crouch a bunch. They really need to get the fire marshal out to inspect this, because this is... Woo! That's a lot. And that is our apartment building. Let's see, where does it start? And then... Cool. Oh boy, that is a lot of blocks. Um, wow. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to copy and paste this on the outside of the city. Kind of just a saved copy of it so I can use it again later if I really want to. And I'd also like to just take a little look at what this would have ended up looking like had we gone with the original sulfur brick design. Because I'm curious. That's how long our city's going to hopefully eventually be. Very, very large. Okay, I think that's far enough. Uh-oh. There we go. Wow, it looks so much different in the day. Um, wow. So this is just, saving it up for later so we can use it again if we need to. But the pipe will not be coming, so we're just gonna destroy the pipe real quick. I don't really feel like fixing this, so yeah, it just gets a bit of andesite texturing. Yeah, that's what this is. Cool. Okay, so this is what our building was. Let's take a peek at what could have been. So first, we are going to replace... Actually, hold on, y'all. I'm going to make another copy of this because I really don't want to lose the whole build. Um, then we're going to go... And we're going to drop in another copy over here. There we go. Then we can always change this if needed. Okay. / replace mud bricks with sulfur bricks. This is my original design for this, essentially. Um, I'm glad we didn't go with it. I hate to say it. I really liked it in theory. It's just the yellow's a little too much for this section of the city we're working on. I'd like to save this and maybe see about doing a revision based off of this in future. I'll change some of this stuff up here. Change the roof maybe to be that slanted thing we talked about earlier. But I do think our end product ended up looking way better ultimately. And so I'm glad we made those changes. Um, yeah, it turned out pretty well for us, I think. Oh boy, that is a large wall. Especially when you think about how high this build is ultimately going to go. The build as a whole, not the apartment building. The apartment building's done for now. Because see that little platform up there? That's going to be the start of our top layer. And so I'm planning on going like another 50 blocks above that. So it's going to be big. I don't anticipate actually being able to fill up this entire space. I might see about bringing in some friends to help me with it. Really, for now, though, it's just a chance to do some fun building that I wouldn't normally get to do. I finally got to make my little alleyway here. Maybe we can add stuff in here as decoration next time. Oh, I should probably replace these lanterns. They're a bit much for this area. Okay. We've got our nice little alleyway. Really, we're at a very good place with this build as a whole, I think. One thing I do need to change is I might need to fix that balcony. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I think we're good. Really, I'm very, very happy with what we've done today and what we've done over the last couple streams. So thank you everyone for joining, and I hope you'll join me next